Yeah, so welcome everyone to the third session on managing fevers naturally. So, for those of you who are new to this group, we would just like to introduce ourselves. So, we are a group of health enthusiasts who are very passionate about natural ways of healing and living. And we started this series to help people on how to heal and how to handle colds, coughs, fevers, and diarrhea, loose motions, all these things which happen as a part of the body's detoxification process, how these things have to be handled naturally without putting a spoke in what the body is trying to do. The body is trying to detox and remove all the stored toxins from many years by starting a fever. So, fever is a very, very important process of healing. It's one of the central points of natural health where through fevers the body releases the burden of toxins and starts the reversal journey, right? So it's very important whether we as individuals or as parents, caregivers, or as grandparents, whatever it is, we learn how to handle these things properly without medicines, without fear, so that the long term chronic health issues don't settle. Okay, so I give it over to Dr. Prajakta Patil, and today we will also have Dr. Ranjitha who will be coming to share her experience, and we will have Dr. Prashanthi Atluri who is also going to be conducting the webinar, and Dr. Prajakta can introduce herself. Over to you, Dr. Prajakta.
Okay, thank you, Asha. And just want to check if I'm audible, like if I'm clear.
Your
Am I
voice is
audible?
clear.
Yes.
Your voice is not clear. Your video is very
Okay.
slow. Maybe do you want to switch off your video and speak?
Am I audible now?
Yeah, but the slides disappeared.
Um, it's not there.
No. See, do one thing, you send me the slides also so that maybe I can project it.
Yeah, yeah. Just give me a minute.
Try it
Sorry
one more
for the
time, but
network
if
issue.
it doesn't happen, I can do it. But you try it one more time. Anyway, you have switched off your video. So, guys, meanwhile, would anyone like to share on the chat? Did any of you have a fever? Did you handle it naturally? After watching the webinars, did you get more confidence on how to handle them without the usage of any medicines? Anyone would like to share?
Mhm.
You can write on the chat. So, where did Prajakta go away?
Yeah, I'm here. Just trying to check my network. Just a minute. I'm just sending you the PPT so we can start.
Okay. Yeah, meanwhile, you can start, like we are already 7 minutes past.
Okay, so I'm audible, right?
Yes.
So, in the last session, we just saw about how the disease progresses in our body and how the toxic accumulation in the body leads to various symptoms, which we cumulatively call as detox. We call them as some diseases. We name them in medical field as like malaria, dengue, based on the some microbiological tests, but it's nothing but detox of our body. Um, are we admitting everybody? Just a minute.
Yes,
So
yes,
I'll just start sharing.
I'm doing it.
Okay. I've shared you the presentation.
So somebody said chat is disabled, but chat is enabled, right? I don't know how to enable chat for everybody. Prajakta, have you sent it to me on WhatsApp or what?
Yeah.
Can you send it on our webinar speakers discussion? Okay, it's there. Okay.
There, yeah. So chat is disabled. Just a minute.
Which slide onwards?
Yeah, I guess the chat is open for everybody now. We have discussed the progression of disease and till the three P's of rest. So we can start from there. Uh,
You have to tell me because I don't remember.
yeah,
Okay, from here? Okay,
just be.
go ahead.
Hmm. So, since we have seen that all these diseases, what we call them, they are just detox that our body initiates. And for that, we have to just follow this. Like, these are the basic things whenever we are in the crisis, when we are dealing with fever crisis or any crisis, our body has to prioritize these three things. That is physical rest, that if you're doing any activity, you should give your body some physical rest from your workplace, or if kids are going for exams or for something, your body needs physical rest so that it can conserve its energy, and that could be channelized for the healing. Then there has to be physiological rest. Physiological rest, as in our body continuously goes through various metabolic processes where our bodies have to spend their energy. For example, digestion. Um, for example, if you're reading, even reading a book or watching TV screen or watching any screen or working on your computer, so you're exhausting your energy there, what we call as like mental energy, digestive energy, whatever energy is being utilized for your basic metabolic processes. So, for that, we have to give our body physiological rest. That means we have to give our body less stress, spend less energy on those parts, and then we can just give our body water fast. If you're not feeling hungry, you can just go on water fast, you can just go on coconut water or some lightly cooked meals like steamed veggies, or you can just go on fruits because that's pretty easy for you to digest. They are having glucose, and your body can use the simple sugars as a form of energy. Anything you eat has to be converted into simple sugars in order to be used by body. So when we eat simple sugars, the process of digestion is skipped. We don't have to digest anything. Body can absorb maximum nutrients. So that is physiological rest. When we are eating such foods, our body is at physiological rest. And then there is psychological rest, where we have to focus on keeping our mental calmness. Like wherever we are having stress, people have stress in their workload, in the workplaces, they are having stress at their homes. As I said, kids have their stress in the during their exams and all, or even if somebody is having some dog bite or any fever, everybody is trying to have that fear in their minds that oh no, I am not gonna heal. What happens then? There are people who constantly keep on checking their temperatures every half an hour. Oh, it's like 101, it's 101.2, it's increasing. So you have to give your mind psychological rest. What I do personally is, like, I don't check my fevers. Even if I'm feeling like my body is heated up internally, I know that I might be having fever, or I'm feeling feverish. I don't check the numbers, because you have to trust your body, and you have to give your body all these three things, so that it does whatever is necessary for it. So how do we create complications? Then again, the main part of this seminar is to educate you all towards the right approach. So, lack of education, then rushing towards medication and pathies. One wants to just get rid of their body's symptoms, they don't want discomfort. But our understanding should always, we should always seek the cause. Why I am in discomfort? Everybody wants to eat that vada pav that they had yesterday. Everybody wants to eat their roti sabzi. People who come to me, they keep on asking, can I have at least dal and rice? You have been eating dal and rice entirety of your life. If you are landing into such situations where the fever is very high, you are having unbearable pain in your body, you should always look towards whatever you have done. And because, see, some people get fevers very high, they are having so much of pain and discomfort. Some people don't get it. So it depends on the toxic load of the body and the body's requirement to raise the fever to that extent. So we should always look, uh, introspect our past behavior. That's why we should not rush to medications and pathies to stop all these things. We should rather try to find the answers of why this is happening to me. Then misreading the body's language, feeding fearing weakness. So we are just, if somebody is having fevers at night, we are like, oh my god, why they're getting fevers at night? Then there is like stepladder fever of typhoid. So there are, like, see, uh, the diagnosis is made based on how, like, the fevers occur in somebody's body. Like, if the fevers are coming at night, we'll be calling it malaria, or we'll be calling it typhoid based on the fever pattern. But there is no such evidence. Like, I explained it already in our first webinar, that we cannot see anything on the slides. If you are talking about microscope, we cannot see anything. We just see some cells elevated and decreased. And that is our body's mechanism to heal. Those cells appear during the healing process as well, whatever they are showing. So it's nothing specific about malaria or dengue or any virus. We cannot see any virus in the slides or in any tests. So is the modern medicine answer to our lack of awareness and inadequate natural upbringing of our kids? So the modern medicine, it's not giving any answer. Like, myself being from medical field, I have tried to find every answer from each and every standard book. There is no answer given for anything. There is just a protocol that, okay, if you see this, it has to be this or this. So there is no understanding of why this is happening to our body. The normal lifestyle is what people follow, and why this crisis happens in kids. So some people don't breastfeed their kids for too long. They are introducing formula very early in their age, because some mothers want to just go to their jobs and all, so they start introducing this formula. And then the kids are picky eaters, because you're not giving them the right food. Kids want to eat sweet, but you want to introduce whatever traditional food is available there, that is rice, rasam. Anywhere you go in the North India, they'll start to introduce parathas and stuff to them. And mainstream understanding that milk is good and fruit is snack, and we have to give 3 to 4 cooked meals, and eggs are for protein. This understanding is is ingrained in everyone. Like, even if somebody is a doctor, they might even tell you that milk is good, you should have this, because that is ingrained in them since childhood. Their education of medicine is for 5 years or 10 years, but this is what they have been consuming since their childhood, and they would also recommend the same thing for you. So we should try to find out where the flaw is. So any parents would like to share how interventions created more issues in their healing journey during their fevers? If you have anything interesting that to share, please do share in your in the chat box. Sorry.
Dr. Prajakta, Dr. Ranjitha is here. Maybe we can enable
We
her
can
to
have
speak.
her. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so you are the co-host. You can invite her. Ranjita, would you like to come on video? I made you the co-host and you can share.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Am I audible?
Yes. So we have Dr. Ranjita. She's a holistic health practitioner. She's dentist by profession, and she has her story of her kid, how she handled the fevers. So let's have her experience of us.
Is my voice audible, Prajakta?
Yeah, it's audible
Yeah.
and we can hear you very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Ranjita, for coming forward and then talking about your own. I mean, you're talking about your own healing experience from, acute healing crisis from last week, or Arias? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I can speak about that as well. The most
Yeah,
recent
yeah,
healing.
go ahead. So, how many parents are there? I mean, I know it's Friday, even though we tried our best in order to, because of our work schedules and all, we weren't able to, I don't know, a favorable time, I guess that's what it is. But I hope whoever is here is serious about what they want to know. Any parents here?
I think there are a lot of
Any
parents.
parents, any previous part, like folks here who are like, anybody? We just, I mean, we just need to know who the audience are at this point. Anyway, yeah, go ahead, Ranjita. I'm just trying to understand the pulse
Yeah.
here.
So I'm Dr. Ranjita. I'm a holistic dentist practicing in Bangalore, as well as a nature cure practitioner. So we started this journey about in 2018, end of 2018. And ever since that, of course, we adapted to this lifestyle really quick. And as a family, we started following it too. And my daughter had perennial allergies since her childhood. From the age of 2 or 2.5, she had a lot of allergies. She was on nasal spray and inhaler, steroids, and bronchitis. Forever, it was just going on and on. And there were a lot of flare-ups like eczema also. And fevers used to be very frequent. And of course, there were a lot of suppressions we were doing in the form of following the allopathic medications, whatever the pediatrician or the pulmonologist or the lung specialist was prescribing. We were just doing anything and everything, whatever they were saying, blindly we were following. And then it was a wake up call for me when I was diagnosed with autoimmunity. So I told myself there is something wrong that I'm doing and I need to put an end to this. So that's when we started embracing whole foods, plant based lifestyle. And since then, my family themselves came forward that they also would follow the same thing. And nevertheless, we've never looked back after following this because it is 7 years now since my daughter has gone medicine free. And the first time that she raised a fever after we started following this lifestyle was about 2.5 years after the starting of this lifestyle. And then the fever went up to around 104. The first day, it was a steep rise from 99 to 103. And then by midnight, it was like 104. And then we were just thinking now, my husband was panicking what to do. And I knew deep in my heart that it was all because of the suppressions we had done. And finally, the body chose to raise a fever. And that's how at least the toxins were going to be eliminated. And because the body needs a lot of energy to be conserved if the body has to raise a fever. When we are constantly on very dense foods and cooked foods, that does not happen so easily. So then, since we started following more of raw foods and all that, finally it came in form of a fever. And then the first day, my daughter also was panicking what happened. And then we just kept her on water. She actually was very cooperative. And then the second day, she was craving for food. But then I explained to her why she has to be on raw foods. And then we gave her tender coconut water on the second day. The temperature did not reduce on the second day either. By the third day night, only then it started reducing from 104 to 102, it came down. And then she started sweating profusely. We had not used any kind of medication, no dolo, no anti-cold medications, nothing, absolutely. And then by the fourth day morning, she was absolutely normal. There was temperature had come down to normal, and she was quite cheerful, and started giving her fruit juices and fruits from the fourth day onwards. And then by the fifth day, she was up and she was doing really well. So this happened about last year also around the same time. Um, the same thing happened. She raised a fever. Again, it was after a period of about 3 years or so she had it. And the same thing we followed. And she was quite fine. This time it did not prolong till the fourth day or fifth day. By the end of second day, the temperature had come down. That's the beauty of this lifestyle. As the body gets used to the natural foods and the raw foods, the amount of toxic load also reduces in the body, and the temperature does not raise to too much of how it used to be when the allopathy medications were being taken. So now, even when the fever is raised, as recent as last week, she had fever, and then all of a sudden she had vomiting. She started panicking and she called me. And I told her not to panic, and just if it is going to be a vomit, it's okay, let it come out. And once she vomited, the temperature went down. In probably a couple of hours, she was totally fine. And she called me and she said, I'm all fine now. So that's how, when we provide an atmosphere for the body to heal on its own, trusting that our body has the ability to heal itself, then the procedure begins, that the toxins are eliminated. The body is doing its job. The body is raising a temperature, a fever, just to liquefy whatever needs to be eliminated in the form of sweat, urine, mucus in the stools, and mucus in the form of sputum, everything. And I had a healing crisis last week. So we were on an international trip. And after coming, even when before boarding the flight there, I had a fever. I started with body aches actually. And then by the time I landed in Bangalore, I had a fever of 103.5. But then I did not panic again, just rested well. For 2 days, I just slept and slept and slept. And I was just on plain water for 2 days. And then by the third day, the temperature had come down to 102. And the fourth day, I was perfectly fine. The temperature had come down to normal. So what are we doing here? We're actually depending on how well the body can heal. If we do not provide an opportunity for the body to heal, then the process obviously does not happen. So here, what did we follow from our days of embracing this lifestyle is trying to keep our body clean from inside. Just like we want the outer environment to be clean, we also will see that our inner environment is also clean. The basic principles of natural hygiene is just to use the natural 5 elements which is available for free. You do not have to spend anything. And the approach
So
is
I have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
So, did your kid complain about pain in the body, and did that affect your mentality or make you fear that, oh, she's crying so much, she's so much in pain, and how can I let her
Yeah.
be in high fever?
Yeah.
And
First time she did panic. And she did panic and she was saying, now what is going to happen to me? You're not giving me medications. So I said, I'm here. Nothing is going to happen. And you always been having the right kind of food. And her concern was she's a national swimmer. So her concern was she's going to miss her practice. Her speed is going to come down. She is not going to have the energy to swim and all these things. So when I explain the body is going through a healing crisis, once the healing is done and the body temperature comes back to normal and you start consuming raw foods well, and that micronutrient is supplied to the body, and then again the functions improve, the body is going to feel clean from inside out. And then definitely she's going to come back to her same energy levels, and that should not be a concern at all. So yes, it was a really panicky situation in the beginning. More than me and my daughter, my husband started panicking.
what was her age that time?
She was 18 and a half or 19. Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
we've medicated her enough from the age of 3 till the age of 18, including 5 years of sublingual immunotherapy. I mean, we trusted that it would probably get all right with all that and tried
Mhm.
homeopathy and everything else. But after 5 years of giving the sublingual immunotherapy, the next day it, so there was no use of giving that 5 years of split therapy at all. That's when I realized, no, this is something wrong. We had even given her 3 shots of influenza vaccine. And I know everything has gone wrong. This is the time to set things right. And fortunately, she herself came forward. You stop consuming dairy. Now, why are you asking me to have it? Even I'm going to stop it. She herself came forward, which was a really good thing. And then we realized after 1 year, we just realized that we had passed one season of not taking medications. That was a real achievement and a really good thing for her, because every single day she used to be on a medication. Every single day. There was not a day, because I had listed the symptoms and written it down. What if she feels what she should be taking? As a allopathy doctor, we have so much access to medications that we sometimes tend to abuse ourselves with that, because
Yeah.
I have not taken her to a pediatrician after her age of 3 or 4. So it was always us who was medicating her. And the first thing we were always told was, after 48 hours of fever, if the fever does not reduce, first you have to start antibiotics. This is what the pediatrician used to tell us in every visit during her childhood. That used
Yeah.
to always be in our head. Okay, give antibiotics now. It's going to be 48 hours. Now you have to give antibiotics.
People tend to they want to try this, but they still want to get a pediatric opinion. I don't know why,
It
because
is a fear. It is
it's
a fear.
want to be like, no, I want to check for malaria, I want to check for dengue, and only then, if it is negative, then I'll try holistic ways.
Yeah.
I think you should not try to do any test. Just lie down at home
Yeah,
and
there is
your
no point in doing the test or checking the temperature, because what the body has to do, it will do. Now, supposing you're going to suppress it with medications now in this episode of fever, probably within the next couple of weeks, again, you're going to fall sick in some other way.
yeah.
Probably a gastrointestinal symptom like a diarrhea, or what they call as amoebiasis in allopathy, mucus in the stools, and then again they put another antibiotic and things like that. I think that we have used a wide range of antibiotics since the childhood, because I know every pediatrician, first thing when you go take the kid saying there are loose stools, first thing they will prescribe is norfloxacin.
Yeah.
I don't know how many medications we have given and steroids also, because she was a really small child. They used to say, keep the spacer and do the pump of the steroid. No, we had to teach a 2.5, 3-year-old child how to inhale that steroid when we pump it into her spacer. I mean, it was not a comfortable thing at all to see every day going
Yeah.
those medications. And I used to panic if I missed one dose of giving a medication. I could not sleep in the night. It was that bad. But this lifestyle has come like a blessing to us. Even for me, I mean, I went through a hysterectomy and then autoimmunity and then hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, and had too much of migraine issues, sinus problem, allergies, everything. I also had the same stuff, and constipation since childhood. All these things were there, but everything fell into place. Almost just about 6 months into the lifestyle, things really turned around. I cannot thank this lifestyle enough for, and of
Many
course,
people have that issue. Even after understanding, they feel very hesitant to make their family members to follow this lifestyle, because many
yeah.
people have this mindset that I want to eat everything. That attachment with the eating of food is so much that they are ready to go through anything. They want the fever to go down so that they can go on trips, they can eat everything, they can taste everything, and they don't want to miss out on that feeling.
But the
So
craving also comes down. As you
yeah,
are
it is
getting into the lifestyle, the cravings also go down. Even if you are a person with a sweet tooth, when you get into this lifestyle of having lot of fresh fruits the first thing in the morning, the moment you look at the fruits, you feel your mouth is watering.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, guys. So we have two parents who have come here to share their experience. So we
Yeah,
have
yeah, sure.
Shyamala and we have Rita. Is that okay, Dr.
No problem.
Ranjitha, you finished
Sure, sure.
speaking?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
only wanted to say a message here that the practices that we are getting into in natural hygiene, trusting our own body's intelligence and the body as a healer, this is what is going to really help in self healing. So the emphasis is more on trust your body, it can heal the best. No medication is required. So the commonest thing in all the healing stories is that there is no one size fits all. You should have a lot of patience during the process. And of course, you need to trust the process, consistency in the practices. And of course, it's the simplest lifestyle which you can follow anywhere on the globe that you are. So the biggest takeaway is the body wants to heal, but it's only waiting for your cooperation. Yeah. And nature is not an alternative, it is the best healer and the original healer.
okay.
Very well said,
So
Dr. Ranjita. So Shyamala is here. Dr. Prajakta, can we get her to speak now?
yes, yes, just
Yeah. Hey, hi, everyone. Shamla here. Everyone can hear me, right? I think I'm unmuted.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I've been on the nature cure journey for the past 5 years with Asha itself, and there have been a lot of lifestyle changes that has happened. Like how Dr. Ranjita was saying, like we've been like very thankful that we came across nature cure, and it has given us so much of confidence, and especially with kids, I think it's made our life much more freer. That is one thing, and not being dependent on any external party. So to give a small background, so I have two boys, Rohan and Tanay, who are 10 and a half and 4.5. We are right now in Goa. And also we follow a bit of Waldorf. We are unschooling, and the boys are completely high energy, very playful kids. My second one is completely unvaccinated, and the first one also after 2 years. And with the second one, I had a completely unmedicated, intervention-free natural VBAC. The first one was an emergency C-section. And I really enjoyed the birth with my second one. He's quite a deal, and he's never visited a doctor. He doesn't have a pediatrician. He's never been to a school, so he's quite a wild one. And we are enjoying our journey. Also more because of the lifestyle that we follow. There's been a lot of learning with them in these 10 years, because my first one is 10 and a half right now. And also how we manage fevers. So I'm here to specifically talk about learning with respect to fevers. So when we started off as a new parent, everything was new, right? I mean, I still remember the feeling when, you're handed over a baby and then you feel like so completely overwhelmed. You're not at all prepared for it, and then you're in the system. I had an emergency C-section, and you're like completely unprepared, so you're totally dependent on the doctor. So they keep giving you things, and for a cold you go to the doctor, for a fever you go to the doctor, then you get an ear infection, you go to the doctor, then you go for a vaccination, you go to the doctor. So it's like that schedule is completely, you're dependent on that schedule. And there's no time to step back. Like not even a moment I would have doubted what a pediatrician is giving me, because I never understood how the body works. So with Rohan, whenever he used to get fevers, this I'm talking about 10 years, till he was around 3-4 years. Of course, I stopped vaccination after a point of time, having some fears about it, but not very sure about what I'm doing. But when it came to fevers, we were following a normal, standard, conventional process. Whenever he got fevers above 100, you start giving drops, right? And I remember, suddenly he used to get fevers. We never used to have the drops, and then we had to rush to the neighbor's house to get the drops, put it. Then used to be on call with the doctor saying that, the fever is above 100, above 102. What should I do? Sometimes even if you put the paracetamol, that it used to go on, and it used to last even for 2-3 days. And you just didn't know, you didn't understand why fever was coming, why fever was going. That's how it was. So that happened. And but after we got an understanding of nature cure, and how the body works, understanding fever as a detox process, we are usually happy that a fever has come, that okay, finally something has come to clean ourselves. So we are quite okay with it. My boys are also quite relaxed.
So
At
you
least the
no
elder one-
longer fear it.
Yeah, we no longer fear it. My elder one is like, of course, he doesn't enjoy it so much because he's a very playful kid. But what he also understands, right? So what I have understood from my perspective, there are 5 things that are important with respect to children, or I guess even with respect to adults. When a fever comes, I have learned from them, because my boys just naturally get into the flow. They're completely in tune with their body. So one thing is, rest and sleep, right? Rohan and Tanay, when they get a fever, all they do is they just get into the sleep mode. I just know that my Rohan will just come home and tell me, or come to me and tell me, Mama, I'm having a slight headache. And he knows he's getting a fever. He'll say, I'm going to go lie down. And that's all. For the next 1.5 days, he's not out of the bed. He's in the bed. He'll get up to drink water. His appetite is completely zero. So I just make sure that I keep him hydrated. And he will ask maximum for cucumbers or some kind of fruit. With Tanay, he's a little more younger. He also sleeps, but he's okay with some fruits. He'll ask for some sweet fruits and things like that. And Max, he might ask for a soup or something, because sometimes he has those salt cravings. So I'm fine with that. So, but usually they are completely on. So the second thing I wanted to say was, like being on fasting, or Max, if raw fruits or coconut water. So this is what we usually have during fevers. Then also another thing that we take care is, I do expose them to sunlight after a day when they're little more. Usually for Rohan and Tanay, I have seen that the fevers don't last more than a day. It goes to a temperature of even 104. So last November, we had a really intense detox session. We were in Bangalore that time. It was getting cold. There was a change of season. So the fever actually lasted that time for more than about 1.5 to 2 days. So that was like a good detox for us. Usually, but it doesn't last for more than a day. And that time it even went to a thing of 104. And what we do is, it's not that as a parent, I'm completely worry free, but I want to ensure that they give, they become stronger with the fever. I do worry a bit because I am constantly monitoring them, especially in the nights. We do keep, me and my husband take turns to like keep an alarm, every 3 hours at least, to wake up and once check on the child whether he's okay. And if we feel he's very hot or he's very uncomfortable, right? We do keep a little bit of wet cloth and wet cloth to get the fever down, but usually doesn't go down much. Okay, it's again the same point, but it's more for our relaxation, more of a comfort feeling for us. But mainly we have
Oh,
got over that fear, that fever is bad.
that kids are going for, they're like feeling discomfort, putting that wet cloth, it
Yeah,
relieves
so
that headache.
it is not, to be frank, they don't like it much. Okay, they actually tell me not to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, but my thing is, at least in the night, a little bit, like it'll be like so that they come kind of go back to sleep. So that's my intention. Otherwise, usually they're okay. They're fine. They get through it. That's what I was saying, right? It's as a parent, I think at least I have not come to the point where I'm completely worry free during a fever,
But you
but
are
I still,
empowering them,
yeah,
and they are
I'm
more mentally stronger while
absolutely,
handling the
absolutely.
fever.
In fact, they tell me, my son tells me, I don't want to take any medicine. I know what has to be done. Okay, so he's at that point of time. That's his understanding and his confidence in the process that we follow. Because now it's been like 7 years at least since he's doing this, right? Every time a fever comes, and usually we get it once a year or twice a year. Twice a year is rare. Once a year we get it, and that time we rest. So these were the 3-4 things. And sunlight also, I do expose them like whenever they're able to go. So sunlight, I personally I feel is a very important thing, because it also gets your mood up. You're also outside looking at something. It's not that we are all cooped up in the house and we're just sitting there, just because we have a fever. Yeah. So that we do. And main thing is for the parents to stay calm and trust the process, because you're getting your kids stronger. Sponging is not necessary, but if you feel it's too high, like 104, and if you are more comfortable getting it lower, then you can try that. Someone asked that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so main thing is, having the parents being cool with it and staying with it. There might be, like, in case people are staying with other family members, there might be some pressure that there might be some pressure to take the child to the doctor, or to give medicines, or to give food, right? But if they have seen you following this lifestyle for quite some time, and they feel, I think people, like, it's just initially everyone's like concerned about the child, right? So that is something that we need to understand.
But kids
Mm,
usually look up to parents for any habits, so I think it should
yeah,
start from the parents itself,
correct,
because
correct,
if the family is following the similar lifestyle, they'll always look up to you
absolutely,
and they'll always try to follow you. You cannot
yes,
be like, you eat fruits and I am gonna eat rasam and rice and
absolutely,
idli and
yeah,
dosa.
yeah.
That
So
won't
that is
happen.
one thing. So whenever they have fever, if they are on raw, we are also on raw. Um, so that enables them, right? That gives them, otherwise, it is not fair actually. So yeah, so that's how we deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can take Dr. Prashanthi. We can take some doubts
Thank you,
here.
Shyamala. I would just like to say thank you, Shyamala, for coming and sharing your experience. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Archie.
So, guys,
Thanks,
you
Archie.
heard, right? Even 104 fever, Shyamala handles it naturally. If you need, just for your own mental health sake, you can use wet packs. Otherwise, the body will bring it down naturally.
Her kids are 5 and 7, aged.
Yeah, they're 4.5 and 10.5 now.
Okay, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Shyamala.
Thank you so much for the
so we
platform. Yeah,
can
it was
take
great.
some doubts,
Yeah.
and then we can just go ahead with it. So, she said that can very high fever cause seizure in children? So, I would like to have Dr. Prashanthi answer this, like if she's here. Dr. Prashanthi. Um, Okay, so I'll answer this question. So,
I'll
high,
message her to
yeah,
answer, but you can start.
yeah. So, high fever, even in the books, as per what I read, because I haven't handled anybody or I haven't seen anyone having fevers and that fever being managed naturally, the seizure cases, but the seizures only happen maximum up to like 6 months, or or at least like 2 years. Otherwise, beyond 2 years, there is no risk that even 104 and 5 can precipitate any seizures. Mostly when we take when anybody has seizure, we usually look up to their history, past history, that if they have undergone any vaccination, because vaccination has lot of side effects. People go through that, and usually kids get fevers and their bodies are very full of vitality, so they initiate high temperatures and can have seizures as well. It depends on how their intrauterine life and how they were breastfed and how is their hydration, and a lot of other factors. But I would like Dr. Prashanthi to add
Dr.
more on.
Prajakta, sorry, Dr. Prajakta, Reeta Pawar is here. So if you could just take her
Yeah,
sharing also, then we can let her go. Otherwise, it will get quite late for them. Is that fine?
okay,
Is
okay.
that fine,
Yes,
Dr.
yes, yes.
Prashanthi?
You can just put her camera on so I can just pin her. Is this Reeta Pawar?
Yeah, I'm going to start her video, ask her to start.
Yeah. Okay, that's her.
या रीता जी बताइए कि थैंक यू फॉर कमिंग, बताइए कि क्या आपके बच्चे के साथ फीवर को आप कैसे हैंडल करते हैं और क्या क्या एडवांटेजेस देखा है फीवर से।
जी यस आशा मैम, मेरा हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम रीता पवार है, मैं बैतूल से हूँ। मेरे बेटे का नाम चेतन है और वो 12 साल का है, 12.5 साल का है अभी तो फिलहाल में। तो उसका एक्चुअली वो जब 10 महीने का था तब से उसको फीवर आना स्टार्ट हुआ था। तो अभी समझ लीजिए कि वो 12 साल का हुआ तब तक कि उसको कंटिन्यूली हर महीने फीवर आता था। मैं काफी परेशान रहती थी। तो एक बार यूं ही यूं ही इंस्टाग्राम चलाते हुए मैंने आशा मैम के बारे में जाना और उनसे मैंने कांटेक्ट किया। तो मैंने अपने बच्चे की सारी कंडीशंस बताई। तो उन्होंने कहा कि आपने जो उनको ये सब दवाइयाँ दी है फीवर के दौरान, ये उन्हीं का साइड इफेक्ट है जो उनको इतनी परेशानी अभी तक झेलनी पड़ रही है। तो मैंने उन्हें बताया कि मैम उसको फीवर के अलावा भी अदर्स प्रॉब्लम्स है, लाइक एडीएचडी का असर था उसके ऊपर, हीमोफीलिया प्लस माइग्रेन प्लस बॉडी पेन, मतलब इतनी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थी उसको। वो एनर्जेटिक भी नहीं रहता था, ऑल टाइम उसको बस मेडिसिन, हर महीने उसकी मेडिसिन चालू ही रहती थी। तो जब आशा मैम से मैंने कांटेक्ट किया तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि जब आप फीवर आता था तो उसे ये मेडिसिन वगैरह देते थे आप, तो उसके कारण ही उसको ये सब सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हुई है। उसकी बॉडी डिटॉक्स होना चाह रही थी लेकिन आपने उसको डिटॉक्स होने नहीं दिया और मेडिसिन देके आपने उसकी इस डिटॉक्स प्रोसेस को रोक दिया। इसी कारण उसको इतनी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही है। तो अब ऐसा तो मुझे पहले पता नहीं था, अगर ऐसा पता होता तो मैं देती नहीं। ठीक है, तो फिर जब आशा मैम ने ये सब चीजें समझाई और उसको नेचुरोपैथी के थ्रू हमने उसके डाइट वगैरह, आशा मैम ने सब डाइट वगैरह समझाया, हमने उसकी डाइट वगैरह सारी स्टार्ट कर दी। तो इस डाइट के दौरान में उससे एक बार वो फीवर आया, काफी तेज फीवर था वैसे उसको, फीवर आया। लेकिन इस बार मैंने सोचा कि मैं उसे मेडिसिन नहीं दूंगी। आशा मैम ने बोला कि उसे बिल्कुल मेडिसिन नहीं देंगे, प्लस उसको हाइड्रेट रखना है, पानी देना है और रेस्ट कराना, और उसको सनलाइट, मैंने वैसे ही किया। मैंने उसको मतलब हाइड्रेट उसको हाइड्रेशन के लिए पानी देते रही और उसको स्कूल भी नहीं जाने दिया। वो स्कूल जाने की जिद करता था लेकिन मैं उसको स्कूल नहीं जाने देती थी। वो मैंने उससे पूरा आराम दिया, प्लस उसको सनलाइट में भी रखती थी ताकि उसको सनलाइट भी मिले। तो इस प्रकार से उसको उस टाइम उसके फीवर को हम लोगों ने मैनेज किया। उसका फीवर कम से कम 2 से 3 दिन तक ही चला, लेकिन इस दौरान मैंने उसे कुछ कोई भी मेडिसिन नहीं दी। वो इतना फीवर में, मतलब इतना ज्यादा फीवर हो रहा था, लेकिन मैं फिर भी थोड़ा सा परेशान हो रही थी। लेकिन उसको मैंने उस टाइम पे मेडिसिन वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं दिया, एकदम मतलब नॉर्मल। तो 3 दिन वो कंटिन्यू फीवर में रहा। देन उसके बाद में 4th डे उसका फीवर धीरे धीरे रिड्यूस होने लग गया। और चौथे दिन तो उसका मतलब पूरा फीवर एकदम नॉर्मल हो गया, जैसे मतलब उसको फीवर आया ही नहीं होगा। इस तरीके से मैंने उसका या पहली बार विदाउट मेडिसिन फीवर ठीक होते देखा था। नहीं तो इसके पहले कभी भी उसका फीवर बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं होता था, उसको मेडिसिन देना ही पड़ता था। एंड इस फीवर के बाद में मैंने ये भी देखा कि उसका जो चिड़चिड़ापन था वो काफी हद तक के कम हो गया था। प्लस उसकी जब डाइट वगैरह स्टार्ट की थी तो उसकी हाइट 5 थी। ये फीवर आने के 10 दिन बाद में उसकी हाइट 2 इंचेस तक के बढ़ गई थी। प्लस उसका कंसंट्रेशन पावर भी बढ़ गया था। उसका एडीएचडी के कारण जो उसका कंसंट्रेशन जो मतलब पड़ता नहीं था, बहुत काफी चिल्लाना पड़ता था, और मतलब मैनेज नहीं कर पाती थी मैं उसको। अभी यही खड़ा है, सुन रहा है कि मम्मी क्या बोल रही है। आ जाते हेलो।
Hello.
Yeah, hey, bright and young. So many diagnoses, so many things. उन लोगों ने इतना इतना सारा कह दिया ना बच्चे के बारे में। मैं तो हैरान हो रही थी, looking at the form, इतना सारा डायग्नोसिस, हीमोफीलिया से लेके सब कुछ दे दिए, और अब तो कुछ नहीं है उसको।
अब कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है मैम। मैं बताऊं, हीमोफीलिया की वजह से उसकी बॉडी में जो पेन और वो जो पर्पल पर्पल पैचेस आते थे वो अभी बिल्कुल नहीं आते हैं। मतलब कभी रेयरली ही मैं देखती हूँ कि कहीं छोटा मोटा पैच दिख जाता होगा। नहीं तो कंटिन्यू उसके पैरों पे वो पर्पल कलर के जो हीमोफीलिया के पैचेस रहते थे इंटरनल ब्लीडिंग के, वो रेगुलर रहते ही थे, 5 6 7 जगह ऐसे रहते ही थे। बट जब से उसको फर्स्ट टाइम फीवर आया था, उसके बाद से उसके मैंने पर्पल पैचेस बहुत रेयरली ही देखे।
या नो नहीं, उस
और
लोगों ने बहुत सारा, हम तो बहुत सारा एंटीबायोटिक्स बहुत सारे चलते थे ना, सो ये सब
बहुत
चले
सारा
गए हैं।
मैम, आप ये समझ लीजिए कि मैंने उसको हर मंथ फीवर का मेडिसिन, एंटीबायोटिक्स, प्लस एक इसको एडीएचडी भी डिटेक्ट कर दिया था, तो उसको फिर स्टेरॉइड्स वगैरह स्टार्ट कर दिए थे इसके।
या
मतलब
स्टिल
मेडिसिन। और उसके उसके पहले उसको माइग्रेन के लिए 1 साल तक की मैंने उसको दवाई खिलाई है।
या आई नो अब तो इतना सारा इम्प्रूवमेंट, मीन ब्राइट आइड लग रहा है, अच्छी तरह से उसकी ग्रोथ है, और स्किन भी अच्छी तरह से है, दिख रही है, सो बहुत सारा
हाँ यस
इम्प्रूवमेंट।
मैम, इम्प्रूवमेंट उसका स्किन भी मैंने आपको बताया था ना मैम कि उसका मतलब एंटीबायोटिक देने की वजह से उसकी स्किन जो है ना डार्क हो गई थी। लेकिन अभी उसकी स्किन मतलब जैसे नॉर्मल होना चाहिए वैसी है। नहीं तो
या
उसको
बहुत अच्छी लग
एंटीबायोटिक।
रही है, हाइड्रेटेड लग रही है अब।
हाँ, अभी भी
या
उसका
नो अच्छी
मतलब
तरह से कर पा रहा है, एंड इट्स नॉट इवन लॉट ऑफ दिस वन रिस्ट्रिक्शंस, वो एंजॉय कर रहा है ना ये लाइफस्टाइल को, ये डाइट को, ये सबको।
हाँ मैम बिल्कुल। मतलब वो तो अब खुद से, हम उसे कुछ कहते नहीं है कि मतलब बेटा ये खाना है या वो खाना है वो खाना, नहीं। खुद से फ्रूट्स वगैरह निकाल के रखेगा, खुद से फ्रूट्स वगैरह खाएगा, सलाद वगैरह भी अच्छी तरीके से खाता है। मतलब खाना खाने से पहले डेली सलाद खाएगा, सुबह भी
और
शाम
उसका
को भी
प्लेट
खाना
भी
खाने से
बहुत
पहले
सारा
सलाद।
कलरफुल दिखते थे।
हाँ,
या
मतलब
या
सारी चीजों में, मतलब मैं तो सैलेड भी रहेगा और रोटी में भी मैं उसमें सब्जियां वगैरह मिला देती हूँ। और सब्जियां तो अलग से रहती ही है, मतलब एक अलग से सब्जी है, रोटी में भी सब्जी है। मतलब उसका कंटिन्यू अभी यही चल रहा है।
या
कुछ भी
बहुत सारा
नहीं।
कलरफुल बनाती है आप, अच्छी तरह से कलरफुल होते हैं। और उसने कोऑपरेट किया, दैट्स द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग, कि बच्चे ने हमसे कोऑपरेट किया। सो वो तो अल्ट्रा प्रोसेस के पीछे नहीं भाग रहा है और कुछ नहीं, अपने हेल्थ को इम्प्रूव प्रायोरिटी दे रहा है। दैट्स द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग।
और मैम अभी तो पता है क्लास में मैं बता रही थी, बहुत मुश्किल से पढ़ता था वो। और मतलब पढ़ता भी नहीं था कहने का मतलब, मुश्किल मैनेज कर रहे थे ये सब चीजें। बट अभी इस साल ऐसा हो रहा है कि जब से उसका क्लास स्टार्ट हुआ है, देख रही हूँ कि उसका फोकस बहुत अच्छा हो गया है। मतलब पढ़ाई में उसकी मैडम खुद मतलब मुझसे मिलके मुझे बोलती है कि मैम आप क्या कर रहे हो। बोले चेतन पहले पढ़ाई में इतना अच्छा नहीं था, अभी देखिए बोले वो 9 आउट ऑफ 10 लाएगा, 10 आउट ऑफ 10 लाएगा, 19 आउट ऑफ 20 लाएगा। मतलब सारी क्लास से अच्छा हो गया है अभी। पढ़ाई उसकी अभी इतनी बहुत है,
इट्स
मतलब पहले से
इम्प्रूवमेंट,
मैनेज
ह्यूज।
करते थे।
या टॉक्सिसिटी लो होने के साथ साथ ये सब हो जाता है, ऑटोमेटिक है। सब लोग इतना फियरफुल रहते हैं और ऐसे ही करते रहते हैं। सो रीता, थैंक यू सो मच, एंड यू आर ऑल्सो वर्किंग ऑन योर हेल्थ, अच्छी तरह से कर रहे हैं आप लोग। एंड कंग्रेचुलेशंस टू एवरीबॉडी, एंड दिस इज द वे टू गो फॉर एवरीबॉडी। अरे बाबा, ऐसे लिखते रहेंगे, क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहेंगे या करेंगे आप लोग भी? सो व्हाट डू यू गाइस वांट टू डू? सो कोई आते रहेंगे, सेमिनार के बाद सेमिनार, वेबिनार के बाद वेबिनार, एक में एक ना एक। और अपने आप ही लोग मेरा कोई ये बेशक है, ओ है। अरे थोड़ा सा अपने आप काम लीजिए, आपके हाथों में रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लीजिए। सो सब भी, आपका भी ऐसा हो, आप भी रीता पवार जैसा, आप भी श्यामला जैसा, सभी लोग जैसा आप भी बन जाएंगे। All right, so questions or the next topic? Are we going to introduce the next topic?
You should take
We'll take the questions.
People are waiting.
Okay,
Yeah.
quickly, right? I have patients coming in.
So, the one about like the first question, which I wanted your inputs. Can very high fever cause seizure in children? And then we have another question in the chat box. But we'll take
Okay.
this. Can very high fever cause seizure in children?
अरे श्यामला अभी अभी बता रही है ना, so go to home, click home. Yeah, so Shyamala was just now telling you guys, right? So what happens with the seizures and all? See, if the gut, we told you multiple times, and on day 1, day 2, day 3 also we are talking about the same story. One thing when it happens is a seizure is, majority of the times, if you have vaccinated a child and the child is raising a fever and you stop the fever, that's when majority of the seizures will happen, especially with MMR. That's what we have seen. Okay. And then the next thing is, if the child is being you guys went on a vacation, there was a lot of ultra processed food and plastic kind of food that was involved in the diet. And then the child is filled up with gas and then he raises a fever. And then you keep interacting the fever with, dal chawal khao, dal chawal chicken noodle soup khao. And then you keep on giving all these fever reducers or emetics or anti-diarrheal medicines, then the gases are going to raise up, and that's the one that is going to cause these seizures. I'm telling you, I've never gone wrong in these two predictions about seizures and fevers. You give me a patient with a seizure and I'll take the history of the patient and I'll prove that I'm always right.
Okay.
Nobody.
What about when child goes on with 4 to 5 days of fever?
What is wrong with 4 to 5 days of fever? आपका leave खत्म हो रहा है क्या? What is wrong with 4 to 5 days of fever? What is wrong with that? See, we already explained to you. Fever, when you really manage it very well, first of all, one thing you have to understand is the fever spikes are going to come down, the frequency is going to come down, intensity is going to come down. It's not going to go away in overnight thing. So first is the fever, then comes the mucus, all that elimination is going to happen. There won't be any hunger for a couple of days. You have to patiently wait it out. You are not the boss of the body, or you are not the boss of the fever. Just because you have a boss at work who is asking you, when are you coming back to work? You can't keep your kid, or the school is telling you, homeworks are piling up. You cannot fast forward any of this. The body has to do it on its own. There were days, my daughter, when she was detoxing, there was one winter, she she was off from school for 12 days. 12 days of no school. I was just managing it. Somehow I managed it. I had work, so I was just bringing her to work or just keeping her at home. I didn't have any help or support or anything. I managed 12 days of fever.
Somebody's asking what if they're having their final exams or important exam on the next day of fever and what they should be doing.
Yeah. So fever final exams, I still remember my final exams. Every time final exam, I used to have a sore throat, cough, and feverish sensation. Do you know why? Do you know why I was having all that? My mom, like my mother is like, milk is so good for health, doodh piyo, and then milk with boost and Horlicks, morning and evening, especially during exam time. The milk used to go in, and then the detox used to start, and the cough and the cold used to start. I mean, now looking back, I'm so mad at my mother. Even at the exam time, MSET time, like the day when I was taking my exam in the afternoon, MSET is like the NEET exam. I was having severe period cramps because my period just started on the day of before I went in. And my mom was like so ready with her milk, and she's like, drink the milk and go to your NEET exam. And I drank, and it was such a painful. I'm so glad I just didn't have to take the exam again, but I cleared it. But it was the most obnoxious thing any parent would do. Milk, drink your milk. Even before you go to bed, you're feeding your child with milk. So this kind of builds up all these things. So I know, I don't know what your feeding habits are for your children, but you will not raise a fever before the exams if the diet and the lifestyle is correct.
Okay. It's true that, even during my exam times when I was preparing for my NEET, my mom used to be like, oh, just have this milk with turmeric.
Milk.
Turmeric, they have it, it's medicated milk.
Milk or something or the other. We used to go in. Majority of the time, it's the milk only. She's like, Mom, I'm hungry. What can I eat? The first thing that used to come to her head was milk. Okay, milk. Milk in the morning, milk in the afternoon. Or a milk-based semia kheer or something she used to quickly make with sugar and semia and milk and give it to us in order to feed us when we keep, when we are during exams, children are sitting at home, they're like, we are hungry, studying, we are hungry. So in order to, do something, this is used to come in. I'm so furious at my mom right now.
There is somebody who's asking, I have never medicated my kids for fever, but recently at 14 and a half years, my son had typhoid and severe loose motions. He was not even able to digest water. Not only did I have to medicate him, he had to be hospitalized because of excessive dehydration. How do we manage such a situation?
See, you were coming to us now. What happened to you when this was happening? Why did you not approach us? A proper history, a proper management would have really helped. But now, after this all happened, now you're looking back and you want to live in fear. But that's not what it is. A mismanaged fever is the one that will lead to such complications. But a properly managed fever will not cause any problems. So a proper history, a proper reassurance to the parent, and a proper guided support is when this is needed. So you guys will do whatever you want to now. You come back with all the fear that is on your backpack, and you want us to troubleshoot now. No, when it is happening, that's when you need to approach us.
And there's
There is nothing like a typhoid, really. There is nothing like a, see, when there is lot of old ways that he's sitting. So what are his diet? What is his lifestyle at the 14.5-year-old child? You need to tell us about all that. That will give us entire amount of history. That will give us a proper basis of what happened. A proper foundation and a proper history is needed whenever you're talking about these kind of situations, because just a basic fear mongering is not going to help. I'm not scared of this. This is not a typhoid or any of these that these people are talking about. It's all about mismanagement that has happened and that led to all these things. So you talk to us, you tell us what his eating habits were, how did you manage the fever, what did you feed him during the fever, what else happened? That will tell me what exactly, why it resulted in it. But there is nothing like a typhoid. Again, when the gut is filled up with lot of gunk, okay, there will be scavengers. And one of the scavenger is a typhoid bacteria. So that's what this is. So they kind of like tested it, and since it is more in number or whatever, they call it as a typhoid. Then they over-medicated him with antibiotics and all, and this has really prolonged the course, and this has created this, more deeper issue later on.
And
Then you could have
she said,
waited. See, the thing was, once the elimination is complete, then things would improve. That's when, this was if you thought, okay, I need some support and guided support, then you could have called one of us and took some proper support, right? Some of you are just texting us without even properly coming through the right channels of consultation. How are we supposed to even manage all these things? See, we are trying to do our best in order to do it. But again, there is something called a medical legal barrier that needs to be filled up, and a proper consultation channel needs to be followed.
right. We need to be approached in a particular way. Like if you cannot go to any allopathic doctor and knock their doors or call them up and then be like, oh, I need to consult, because there is a history which we have to dig in, where we have to look for the reasons and then we have to figure out what is happening. We cannot just be we cannot make out from whatever brief history you type on the text
Yeah, no,
messages.
when
That's
we
not
talk
the
to
way.
you, we talk for an hour or so. We need to
Yeah.
understand the situations, the conditions that you guys live in. We really look into your house in order to see the conditions of the house, how much light the house has, what is happening, and the fear and everything. It's not like, oh, it's just a text message about little bit of information. That doesn't help us.
Okay, and then there was one question on the WhatsApp group. They had asked that about fever. Family members who are into non-veg and dairy freak out when fever goes beyond 102 and 103. When explained, it's okay to wait, but our logic is compromised as they fear dengue, chikungunya, typhoid, etc. Vegans only follow no treatment, or everybody can follow it. Like there's doubt because body is dumped toxins to wait it out to remove them. How long can body do this? Somebody is on dairy and non-veg. They can they also follow this non-medicine mantra, or like they have to become vegan? That's what somebody was asking.
See, you cannot, the most important thing you want to understand at this point in life is you cannot help someone when they don't want your help. Why are you trying to help someone when they don't want your help? So don't innovate yourself. Don't do all these things when people are not ready to listen to you. When they come to you, then they must be really ready, and then they can ask you questions. So why are you draining yourself? Why are you wasting your energy on people who don't need your help?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the answer is simple. It's your diet, your body. When it is not digesting, when it is not fermenting, the body is raising a fever. So let them handle their own way. Why are we stopping them from poisoning themselves when they really want to poison themselves? It's not our business. Yeah, go
And
ahead.
so we can just start with the rabies.
Yeah, let's go
Whatever
ahead
one
because,
slide.
yeah.
Asha is there. Like she was sharing the slide.
Yeah, you want me to share the slides?
Yeah, the rabies slide, the last two slides.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we are going to start off quickly with the rabies talk. And so I'm going to start with a disclaimer. See, we know how to live fearlessly. Like the community of natural hygienists, we know how to live fearlessly. And we are trying to share information. Again, remember what I said. If you don't want the help, we are not offering any free help here. You're on your own. But those of you who need more clarity, who are confused, who really are we need to know more about what is going on. This is for those critical thinkers. We are trying to help you out. But those of you who want to do an endless debate, who don't want to research, who don't want to even look up the evidence, who just wants to take in the fear bites, this is not for you. So we are using here we are. We know what is going on. We are showing you the evidence. We are trying to ask you to connect the dots. Only if you are up for it, please please, like, be part of this. Otherwise, you're on your own. You can do whatever the newspapers want you to do and the government wants you to do. Okay, so the truth that never been told. So this is my so I'm going to share another clipping that another video that I did with Deepika from AIM in the past, which I'm going to share it after I'm done with talking with this topic. But that has to be your homework, and that has to be your foundation in order to overcome your fears about all these the dog bites and everything. Every day you open up a newspaper article, there is a dog bite, then there is this and that, and then they're talking about I mean, it's just, I think this at some point the dog rabies vaccine is going to make it to the vaccination schedule. That's how it looks like. I think even Kerala has even Kerala government, the state government has thought about it from what Deepika has mentioned to. So what is my experience? Though people are going to ask me, one thing is, hey, you are just a doctor, okay? Don't even think about getting into it, because when your daughter is going to be bitten by a dog, then only you are going to come to the terms, and then you will understand, right? That's the majority of the people. Whenever we tell you, listen, there is nothing like a virus. They have never isolated it. And everything, it applies to HIV, it applies to rabies, it applies to every virus that you guys are talking about, because you guys need to know more about that, the virus and the mythology that they talk about. So that is your first homework. Okay, so now what you're going to do. So this is my little daughter. This happened in 2022. It's a crisp spring morning, spring afternoon. It's a weekend. So she went to play with the next door dog. The next door dog is a pit bull. Okay, so she's a pit bull who my neighbor is fostering. So the pit bull came from a very abused background. So, there are so many ups and downs that are going with the dog. But anyway, as a parent and as my neighbor also should have been more concerned about this. But again, this happened. Okay, so she was trying to feed the pit bull. The pit bull wasn't feeling too well. There were some heartworms or something. And then the dog just did this. Because of my daughter's height and the pit bull's height, they were just like this. So she was able to grab her lip. So a part of the lip was gone when she came to me. So the neighbor just grabbed a napkin, put it on her face, and then they both ran to me. But the neighbor, she's elderly and she's very level-headed, okay? So she brought the baby by. And then I opened her up and I'm like, oh my God, part of a little piece of her lip is missing. What is going on here? And I mean, the natural mother's reaction is to have tears and then start crying. But she was really brave enough. And then she was like, nothing, it's okay. It's not Sunny's fault or something or the other. So my husband is an emergency medicine doctor. So he was at work. So I immediately give him a call and then I take her to the emergency room. I take her to the emergency room, and then they kind of like cleaned her up, and then she was already by then settled. And then my husband and daughter, as if they were doing some craft work, my husband was doing one stitch at a time, approximating everything in order to just give it a better cosmetic look. And me, I was just wiping my tears. It was painful to see. And then then of course the nurse was like, "Are you going to give like a rabies shots and tetanus shots?" And then we said, "No, nothing of that sort," and we brought her home. So this is her, and she's still. I mean, I just dropped her off at school, 2025. So again, I don't know. I don't care about the rabies vaccine history of the dog, and we never gave her anything. So this is my experience with my child, and this is the true story. And what was I going to say? Yeah, the recovery has been fine. Everything was fine. And again, it wasn't the dog's fault. The dog was super sick and tired, and we as humans should have never instigated the whole thing. But if you keep on, like, we don't know, and we kind of like think dogs are our pets and they have to, like, eat when we ask the pet to eat, dance when the pet parent wants to dance. It doesn't work that way. So it doesn't work that way. And we are bringing these, like, these are wolves. These are basically wolves that we tamed and we brought them into our human, into human dwellings and communities. But again, a pit bull, a Dalmatian, and what are those big breeds? They don't even belong in human homes. Somehow we tamed them, we kind of mastered it, and then they are there. But anytime any of these can happen, because they are animals, the instincts are different. But this is my one experience. this is my when experience with dog bites, but we have multiple experiences with dog bites. So we are going to kickstart this rabies this one talk. So I think the next 1 or 2 webinars that are going to follow would be on rabies only. So again, what is my other experience with rabies? I'm going to tell you quickly. In 2008, there was a immigrant who crossed the borders through Mexico, and then he walked eastwards towards the state where I live in. So he was in the bad dwelling, he was dehydrated, young guy, he was in the ICU, and then nobody could really say what was going on with him. One by one, organs were failing. And then I was in my cardiology fellowship. So I ended up doing a transesophageal echocardiogram, like I was using an endoscopy. Most of the times we don't take in a whole lot of precautions other than wearing gloves. But then, I put the probe into him, and then I removed the probe. It was all smeared with his salivary secretions and all that, right? So after 2 weeks, I get a phone call, or there was a meeting, and then they're like, they went in the chart because the patients were like, the charts were there, which doctor attended what time, right? So they call me up and say, hey, this guy that you took care of presumed to have a rabies. So we are having a meeting in the basement of the hospital. You need to come to the meeting. So I went there thinking, okay, what is next? Okay. So they were all like, chit-chatting, laughing. Oh, so I asked them, like, do you have an evidence that this guy? No, it's all presumed. We don't have any evidence or anything. I think something, we think it is. But then where is the pathology report? No, the pathology report is not back yet. Even it's not even, like afterwards it came back and it wasn't even conclusive. Then why do you call it a rabies? So now they recorded in the hospital history as a rabies case. But the thing is, there is no evidence. Nobody is back, like, looking back exactly where the case came from. But unfortunately, the records are telling us that there is a case of rabies in the hospital. So it became a news. Everybody who took it, they were like, up in line for rabies vaccine. They were like, okay, you need to take it. If you don't want to, it's up to you. At that time, I was not too much into vaccine science and other things, but I'm like, I'm not taking all this shot. It doesn't make any sense. Even at that time, I was like, I mean, I'm doing well. And they are telling me they themselves are not serious, like how they have conducted the meeting. It was like a big joke at the time. And then they were all laughing. Even the pathology is presumed. So what am I doing? I'm not taking the shot because it's going to hurt a lot. It's a rabies shot. And I'm going to have a lot of fever. And I have I can't afford any more leave time or anything. So I said, I'm not going to take any of it. So some people took it, some people didn't take it. And I never followed up on all that. But I'm just telling you, if you see on the newspaper a case of rabies, this is the kind of thing that they're doing. They don't really have a proper documentation, nothing. Nobody goes back and checks it. No pathology report, nothing. In all these cases that I have seen, just the newspaper gets some gossip or some news, and then it has to be put on the thing. And then the whole cascade of events will take place. So yeah, so again, we can talk more about it, and we will start off. And I know a lot of you have questions that have been so each one is going to deserve a slide and a presentation and a talk. So we will do everything. We have to put it all together. But again, living in fear or what you want to do, it's up to you. But again, there is a whole lot of things that are happening. And now we are learning that Serum has come up with a new technology and new stuff, and they're promoting it a lot. So yeah, start the fear first, and then keep making, make the cases look terrible, and then you start it off, and then you take it off. Then you kind of keep it in the community.
I can also quickly share what happened with me, if it's fine, just in a minute. Yeah, so I think around 2 weeks back when I was walking on my street, there three street dogs. I didn't know where they came from, and I think I was not noticing where I was walking, and so the dog got threatened, and one of the dogs bit me on my leg. And yeah, there was a lot of pain and bleeding, but I just came home and I just washed off the wound with water, and I did a little bit of bandage till the just a wet bandage, no medicines, till the bleeding stopped, and then I applied some mud pack, and there was pain and swelling for 2 3 days. I fasted on water for 2 days, and from then on there was no pain, just a little bit of swelling here and there, and now it's almost completely gone. There's just a little bit of dry wound still there, so I'm sure in another week or so the wound will be completely closed.
Yeah, and everybody like needs to know that this has happened in just past 10 days. It's just the recent experience of hers that last 10 days back she got bit by the dog, and she sent us that scar where the dog bite was there. It might have turned into scar, like the teeth mark has gone. Has it gone, Asha?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm just watching it. How it is going to turn out. Maybe I'll have a mark even after it completely heals, but there is no pain. Like I just stopped all activity for 4 5 days. I gave rest to the leg, but now it's completely fine. So yeah, so guys, we just wanted to share all these things, but as Dr. Prashanthi said, more information will come in the next webinar. But yeah, so just take care of all these things. Naturally, there are
And
many
all the
other.
questions being been whatever has been asked on the group will have individual slides answering them. So we'll prepare for it, and the next session will be completely on rabies. This was the last session from our side on fevers, the third one and the last one. So we'll
I just
start
wanted
with
to
the
say
rabies ones.
one thing, Dr. Prajakta. I just wanted to say one thing. See, many people are saying, oh, we had to travel, they had exams and maybe some festival, and what to do in such case, we gave medicines. See, that is your choice, okay? Nature doesn't recognize your personal emergencies. For the body, there is already an emergency. That's why it has raised a fever. Now, whether you have to travel or you have a festival coming, exam is coming, those are all your emergencies. The body doesn't care about it. So, yes, it is your choice. You can give a medicine and you can suppress the problem, but rest assured, the body will raise the fever again. It will come back, and it will keep trying till the toxins are taken out, and the next time the fever may be even higher, the temperature may be even higher, it may take even longer because you suppressed it again, right? So just be aware of it and make an informed decision. And even this
Yes.
whole thing, right? Somebody is saying, why are you discouraging medications? If it gives, like, I don't like to see my child in pain, let me just give a medicine. It's okay. See, that is again a time when you have to understand that actually the body will never do something which is dangerous. But yes, fever can be discomforting. There will be body pain. Your child will be cranky. There will be crying, but this is the time when you have to sit with your child and soothe the child, and explain what is happening if they are old enough to understand. And if you are walking around with a worried look on your face, your child is going to catch it. So be happy, be smiling, explain to them like a story what is happening, right? And they will get it most of the time. And 1 or 2 days, the pain and the discomfort will be there. You need to provide a calm atmosphere for the child to heal. So don't just keep rushing them to diagnostics and this and that, all those things.
Somebody's saying brain damage above 102 fever.
But you just heard, no, Dr. Ranjitha,
It's
Shyam, all
actually
of them.
it's all fear mongering. Nothing like that happens. Actually, it's not there in the medical books. I would like to bring the snippets, or rather share it on the group next time. I have it in the books. I have marked it somewhere, so I'll share it on the group. Nothing like that happens. Okay, then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I think there was one more question if we could just answer and we'll wrap it up. Somebody was saying my child gets pain during the growth period. Why does it happen, right? Do you remember somebody asked that
Some
question?
joint pain at night, something.
Growth pains. It's called growth pains, right? Usually, yes, it's called growth pains. The children
He
get
has
leg
asked,
pain in
why
the
is
night.
that pain coming in the night?
Yeah, they get chair. So I can share my experience. Like my children, both of them used to get it in the night. So everybody says it is growth pains. Oh, they are growing. That's why there is pain. But actually, once we stopped dairy, it completely went away. So it is nothing but again toxins which the body is trying to correct in the night time. So if you correct your food intake and give them time to spend outdoors and all, it will go away. So unnecessarily, the body will not create pain. Okay, so Dr. Ranjitha, Prajakta, I think we
Okay,
can close
thank
the
you.
call. Thanks to all the people who came to share their
Yes.
testimonials. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for staying so long with us. Yeah, Dr. Prajakta, any last words?
So thanks everyone for joining. I would like to hear all your experience or whatever you feel about this seminar on the group. We can keep the group open at least like till tomorrow morning. You can put your response, your questions there, and we would like to answer it. I also share some people who have asked about the contacts, how to reach out to Asha, how to reach out to Dr. Prashanthi, just share all the details on the group, and you can talk to any of us and get your doubts cleared like one-to-one sessions about your personal
Breaking
issues,
off, Prajakta.
and we'll meet in the next session. Yeah. Am I audible? My video is like
Now it's
this.
better. It was breaking off actually.